All right, so on the bench today that we're going to be opening up is out of a 2018 Dodge Durango all-wheel drive with a 3.6, and this is the 850RE, 8-speed all-wheel drive transmission. All right, fortunately, mileage is not written down here, but the deal is the car was towed in from a wholesale account for not moving. All right, so pretty much what was going on is the car really wouldn't come out of park. Now this thing's got a couple of problems. All right, first of all, to maneuver this thing around, as you may know or may not know, in the center console there is the park release, the emergency park release, because this is all park by wire. So you gotta slide the little lock up and then you pull the ribbon, we call it the parachute, pull it up, it locks. You'll see like the P light or the indicator start flashing, and then you know the car can roll. All right, also just to let you know, if you have that release lock up, the car may not run. I got a call from another wholesale account with an 18 Durango, and he's telling me, I don't know what's going on with this thing, the D light is flashing, the car won't run. And I said, go in the car and look in the console and see if the release lock is up, and sure enough it was. So I told him how to release it, closed it down, then the car started, the lights stopped flashing. But 2018, you can't really get in with your scan tool because of the secure gateway. So you have to get that on you have to register your scan tool with what's called auto auth. It's like $50 a year. And that would give you permission to get into the gateway system to scan the car by directional controls, look at data. Otherwise, you're very limited to what you can do 2018 and up. So I have that on 2 of my scan tools, the auto auth. And also, you need to have good Wi-Fi because it only works with Wi-Fi. All right, so when you plug the scanner in, you might have to give it a few minutes. At first, you may be denied access, but then if you keep trying and everything is registered in the way it should be, it would say access granted, and then you can get into the system. All right, because he didn't know about it, my wholesale account, one of my wholesale accounts, so I have it on my Snap-on, so I told him to drive the car here, and I cleared all the codes out for him. All right, so getting back to this, I think we have 2 problems here. First of all, this thing had a laundry list of codes. All right, and clearing the codes, I don't have the paper with me, but I know clearing the codes and restarting it again, the car wouldn't come out of park. Actually, it would come out of park, but it wouldn't move. But you know, what I'm saying is you can move the shifter, but the D light would flash, it wouldn't come out of park. And I had communication codes and speed sensor codes with the car not, output speed sensor codes with the car not even moving. And then when I would put the key, or I would put the shifter back in park and shut the key off, the key would stay on because the computer did not know the car was in park. So it would say on the display, not in park. So the key would not shut off. Okay, it would say not in park because my TCM is no good. And I have it out, I'm gonna explain that in a minute. All right, so we get it inside, we do the code scan, we clear it, we take the connector out, put it in, let the car down, put it in reverse, and my lead technician who does all the diagnosing was able to back it out. And he says, I'm gonna drive it down a block, and I says, I wouldn't do that because if you get stuck, you're done. And sure enough, he was just going back and forth in the parking lot. I think he tried reverse, then went back to drive, boom, went right back to park. And he was, then we had to pull up the parachute to get into a parking spot. So I remember we having we had communication codes, output speed sensor codes with the car not even moving, they wouldn't even clear, and we had some clutch monitoring codes, like the transmission was slipping. So I got on the phone with the wholesale account and I said, the way we should do this is we need to get rid of these electrical codes first, and if you're fine, the car is done. If not, we can continue and do the transmission, because he had an okay to do the whole thing. So he said, fine, let's do that. So I got the valve body brand new from the dealer, And then my lead technician does this kind of stuff, and I help him with it. So we drop the pan, and we're looking at the, we drop the pan, actually we drop the valve body. Now we got to push the car out, so I pick the pan up, and I look on the magnets, and there's this stuff, maybe clutch something is coming apart inside the transmission that is on the magnet, which I'll show you. Possibly a steel, maybe clutches. So I called him up and I said, we got to do the whole thing. So he said, fine. All right, so I'll show this stuff to you. This has start stop. So I have the valve body, and I have the his pump, the hydraulic impulse storage, which is the accumulator which keeps the clutch packs charged when you're at a red light and the engine is off. Okay, and I have the valve body out, but again, I have a brand new valve body in the box, so once this transmission is done, I got to get somebody here, my guy here, to program it. So I guess that's about it. So again, we're dealing with two problems, transmission and computer. What we did do is I have another valve body here out of a Jeep that I know wasn't going to fit in this, but what we did was we put the car in the lift, we took the connector out, we plugged it into the Jeep, and then those communication codes and output speed sensor codes cleared, and just like not program code. I even think the key may have shut off. I have to ask my technician, my lead tech. I think even the key may have shut off. But then we put it back in here, and pretty much same thing. Car not in park, even though it is in park, just the computer didn't know it was in park, and the key wouldn't shut off. So when we had this thing off at night, we had to disconnect the battery, or battery would be dead in the morning. All right, so I know I'm going on very long, sorry about that. Let me get a little closer. I'll show you the valve body quick, the his pump again, and then we're gonna go ahead and get this thing apart, and I'll show you what we found in the panel. We'll see what we find when we get this transmission apart. All right, so real quick, here is the original valve body. I have the new one still in the box, I can show that to you, but I don't have anything else here yet. So here is the valve body, here is the attachment for the his pump, output speed sensor, and also this here, I don't know, maybe this thing got hot, but also look at this. This looks kind of melted here also around the plastic and stuff. So there might be maybe something, either driving this thing was getting very hot and everything, actually the plastic is melted around here. Could be why we're getting those output speed sensor codes without even moving. All right, here are the transfer tubes. This one comes out. I'll have new O-rings in there, that come in the overhaul kit. I actually have my friction module here, but I don't have my overhaul kit yet. Converter is getting sent out, and we got to see what pistons I'm going to need. All right, and here is the hydraulic impulse storage pump. Again, it's the accumulator that keeps the clutch packs charged at a red light. When the engine is off. Here is, I guess, some part of a cooler system here that goes on. These go into the transmission. This bolts onto the case here, and then you have two more lines that go in here. Okay, what I want to do here, I took most of the bolts out except for two, just to make it go a little quicker. All right, so we're going to take these two bolts out, get the extension housing off. Okay, here's that. No seal or anything on the inside. We have a rear seal here. All right, so I want to get that out. Sometimes there is a snap ring and a shim behind that. It is a 2018. It's an H50RE. I'm not 100% sure if it has it, so we have to check. And this does have it, yes. Has a snap ring, and there should be a shim as well. We're gonna get the snap ring out. Okay, here is the snap ring. Find a little try to get the stuff out that I know I'm gonna need. Open up my little magnet. Okay, where is it? All right, so let's see. Right here's the shim. Right here, one shim. Okay, put that aside with the snap ring. All right, so now we're going to take the O-ring off here, okay, for the lockup, torque converter, okay. Now we're going to take the torque 50 volts out, and then we're going to flip it and take the pan off, and I'll show you what's in the pan. Is our aluminum, is our torque to yield. So the recommendation is to replace them. I have actually a whole bag over here, new. And when you put these in, according to the ATSG manual I have, you know, the pump goes down flush, and then you tighten like 1, 2, 3 to make sure it's flush. And then you tighten the rest hand tight, and then you want to go like, I don't know, I gotta look at the specs, could be like, you know, 50 inch-pounds, and then an additional, maybe 90 degrees, some 45 degrees, 90 degrees, something like that. Okay, here also is your fill and check right here. I'm sure there's gonna be some oil in this, but again, the valve body out. All the pan bolts are in here. Okay, so this is what we're finding in the pan. We got these. Check this out here. You know, it looks like some kind of a, you know, maybe a clutch, a snap ring. There's another piece here. So something is broken up pretty good here. And I guess we shall eventually see what it is. All right, so this here. All right, now we're just gonna pry ever so slightly on that pump. Okay, I want to pry in this area here, nice and gentle. And that's it. It's out. Okay. So we'll open this. This is the A clutch. All right, then we got the pump inside here. Here's the cover. We can open all this up. Here's to see what happened to this. All right, so here are the return springs for the B clutch. No molded piston on this. All right, and you got a big tab here and a small tab here, so that can really only go in one way. All right. Let's get the, see if we can get the, okay, we got the hub, P1 hub, take the B clutch out. Okay, so we have the wavy in between that keeps them separate. Okay, and a wavy here. And this would face, this would go in last, so this, so then the pump will go in. Okay, so let's get, and here is the pressure plate, which will go on the bottom. Okay, so these we'll put here. All right, now we can pull this whole thing out. All right, you know what? Let's see if it'll come out. So it looks like back here, this ring here, everything broke off of this thing. This thing looks loose here. This is all broken up back here. I got to see how this thing is sold. Back here. Take the weight off it. You see this thing is loose. This thing is loose. I shouldn't do that because this is all broken here. But we'll see how it's sold. There is a snap ring. I wonder if I can possibly get a snap ring and get the piece I need for it. That would be nice. Not really sure how it's sold. Okay. Well, you know, if the case is stripped, here's another piece that was in there of that. So let me... Okay, so let me focus on this. We'll get our tools, our rings, so we can open these up and look at the inside. You know, everything probably be okay, except I got to see how that is sold, that stuff in the back. I'll have to get a printout, and I'm hoping the stuff is going to be available, but I could probably find something good used if I had to and take what I need. All right, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. All right, so I got my kit with the rings on it. Okay, we'll put this protector on. Okay, so the opening is here, and just kind of look at how the snap ring is oriented, how it's going to fit. There's a lock here, there's another lock here. So the opening is here, where the opening would go, all right? And they want this thing taken out 180 degrees from where that is. So let me get a couple of screwdrivers ready and see if we can just pick up on this. Okay, see, we got, just kind of look at the orientation. You got a cutout here, which will go into a lock here, which will go, you know, this won't do anything, but the opening has to be in between where that lock is. So just look at how the snap ring is oriented. All right, we take our ring off. We got no damage to the drum. Okay, here's our P1 Planet. Okay, everything in here hopefully should be good. P1, P2 Sun Gear. Okay, now the whole input shaft will come out with the P2 Planet, and you want to be very careful with this because you have this segmented magnetic ring that reads the sensor, and a lot of time these you know, this here breaks out, strips out. I've seen that on the 8HP45s. Okay, got to be very careful not to damage that. I'm going to just kind of put it across the basket there. All right, the P2 Sun Gear, P3 P2 Ring Gear, P3 Sun Gear. Okay, now we're going to take this out. Now we're going to get the clutch drum out. We can't get the clutch drum out, actually. We'll have to take that park gear off, which that thing is all broken up. Okay, let's put this aside for now. We'll have to work on that. Alrighty. And then again, just look at how the snap ring is oriented there. While I'm making a mess on the ground. Okay, got our protector. And again, we got a hole here that we want to see if we can use to our advantage. Maybe get a screwdriver in there. But let's see if we can get this thing out. Not too much of a problem. Okay. And you need the protector. If you're prying it without anything, you're really going to, you could break this. You could break this. All right, this snap ring. I'm going to take our Planet out. Okay, here's our other cylinder. This thing's not too bad. You know, these things get beat up with a D-clutch rides, but let's see what I got. Things beat up pretty good. Okay. All right, now we got a couple of snap rings. Let me just bring this down. This will come out. Okay. And then there's another snap ring. Okay, same. Now we have the C and the E clutch strings. Okay, we got a bearing here, which will ride like that. And then we have another bearing here. Okay. All right, so just give me a few minutes here because this thing is broken up. Okay, real quick. So what I did was I just bent the tabs up anyway, which is what you would have to do, and then this thing would turn, line up, and come out. And then this will come out. Like that. So I'm hoping I could just get that piece. That would be very, very nice. Okay. Then we can get our D clutch drum. Okay. Find it here. You got sealing rings here for the D clutch. Let's see how. Oh, you know what? My compressor is off. I can't even check it. You know what, I like to check this before I pull it apart. I'm going to go put my compressor on, and I just want to air check this with you guys just to see how that D clutch is. Give me 2 minutes, I'll be right back. All right, so let's just air check this D clutch real quick, and we'll take a look at it. That's pretty good. Not bad. So now to get this piston out, you see it's got two holes here, right? So you gotta push down. There's no snapper. You gotta push it down, and you gotta move the balance piston so the indents line up with the lugs. You know, you gotta move it this way, this way. You got to see which way it's going to go for everything to line up like we did with this one to get this out, and then this will come out. You can take the piston out and the snap ring. No snap ring. The piston, return spring, the balance, the return spring, and the piston. Okay, so I also took the snap rings off of the clutch drums. This is the E clutch. All right, so this bearing would go here like this. Here is the snap ring. These things are pretty heavy. You know, I put it in my foot press. So here is the piston and the balance piston. Notice they got away from one molded piston in this. Okay, so here are the two. And the clutches look okay. There is your return spring. And, you know, sometimes these things get beat up, but this doesn't look too bad. All right, so this is the E clutch. First one to go down is the thick plate. Last to go down is the wavy, because that's what sits on it like that. Okay. Now we have the C. Got the snap ring out here, another pretty thick snap ring. And this I had a support underneath, because once I took the snap ring out, this thing can drop right out like that. And you got two O-rings here and O-rings on the inside as Well, this is a molded piston. Here's the balance piston. Here is the molded piston. Again, the wave. Okay. Clutch backs and your Belleville return. Okay. That is the C clutch. What else do we got? All right, so we got here. Okay, here is a return spring for the B, and these pistons will just pop off like that. Seal there, seal there. Okay, now I'm going to look at the A clutch. Fix that right here. Okay, pull this out. And we have also the little wavies to keep the clutches off of the steels. Okay. There's another one here, and a wavy. Okay, let's go here, this will go here. You got a race here, you got a bearing here. Bearing here. Okay, now I have to get the split ring out so I can get the bolts out underneath and split these two, and you can see the pump. All right, so I got to put this in the press and I got to get the split ring out, so I'm going to do that. All right, just give me a second, I'll be back. Okay, so I got the split ring out. Okay, going to take the return spring out. Now the piston. Okay, so we got this, goes like that. And then of course the ring, we'll put that in. That's for the A clutch. All right, so now we're going to use our 40, torque 40. We got one bolt here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No problem. Where did I put my 40? Here it is. All right, so we'll take this one. These again are aluminum, you know. They say the torque to yield, and you can't really make these that tight because then you're doing it, they'll snap right on you. All right, so this will come off. Here is our cover with our O-ring and front seal bearing. And here is our front, here is our pump, off-axis pump. Okay, so now we want to get this pump out. So very, very gently. Go here. Here. Okay. Our chain. And here is our little small, very high volume pump. Okay, this will come off. You have a race here. All this is fixed on here, so it's not a big deal. Okay. Typical 8-speed. All right, so let me just show you what I have so far, which is only the valve body and my friction module. So let me get that, I can show you that, and then we can finish up the video. All right, so let me go grab that stuff, and I'll be right back. All right, so here is my friction module I got from TransStar. Okay, and the valve body came in this box. That is the part number, but again, these things are all different. You know, you really got to go by the VIN. And they also want the core back. really never even opened this yet because we never got that far once we saw what was in the can. Fit the bag, or 6 bag, whatever it was. There it is, brand new. Brand new. Alright, so this is just going to get taken out of the bag. I'm gonna have to put that transfer tube in. That goes here, and put the valve body right here. Okay, let me just put this back in the bag. I also have, you know what, I made a mistake. I also have my pan. Here is my pan. That is OE, Filtran, made in Germany. Actually, Filtran, I'm sorry, made in USA, because it's a Chrysler. So that's it, OE. Okay. So we got a 2018 Dodge Durango 850 RE with 2 problems. Number 1, this ring was busted up. And number 2, we got a bad TCM, not recognizing it's in park. I don't even think it was coming out of park. So we're going to do the overhaul, brand new TCM, get it programmed, sending the converter out to get done. I'm going to have my overhaul kit tomorrow so I can get started on this. And that's really about it. So it's not a bad, not a bad transmission to work on. It's have the proper tools. You got to be very careful, with this. I actually have another 8-speed, an 845. I don't know if this is going to be the same, but I'm going to check it. If it is, fine. If not, I'm hoping I can get one. And that's it for this unit. I thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. We'll see you next one.